What's up, my YouTube family? I have not talked to you guys in quite a minute, and I am back. And one thing that I wanted to talk about, first of all, I'm excited because I think the time change is getting ready to happen, and so I don't have to do too many in the car videos, but I can film at home. But in this video, I wanted to talk about some things that I would tell my younger self. Now, hopefully this video will cause you to think of some things that you would tell your younger self. And then maybe, you know, even if we're older people, we can tell and encourage the younger people. Like I would encourage my children to do some things differently as they are maturing and aging into adulthood. So if that is the type of video that you're interested in, please stay tuned. And I would love to hear your comments in the comment sections, and let me know some things that you would also tell your younger self. So one of the first things that I would tell myself, like my younger self, is to budget. Like I would literally say, younger Adrian, sit down, write out your expenses, write out your income, know where your money is going, track your expenses as best you can. That way you will know how much that you can save, how much you can spend, how much you can invest. Because I feel like if I would have started investing younger, like there's no, like I don't have that, oh well it's me, I wish I should have could have attitude, because life is life. But I do, if I can go back, I wish that I would start investing more. Now I did invest at some point in my 30s, but life happened. I had to take out that money out of my 401k. But this video, I'm talking about what would I do differently, you know, taking out the life be life and part of it. I would budget more, I would save more, I would invest more. So that brings me to, I would also not spend more than I earn. Like when I was younger, I was just spending money like it didn't matter. Like especially when I had my children, I had a great paying job. I was getting paid like $50 an hour, and in my mind I was like balling out of control. And so anything that I thought that my kids would want, even though they were kids and babies, they didn't know what they wanted, but I thought that they wanted it, I would just buy it. I mean, they had roller coasters, they had bouncy houses in the house. It was just crazy. And looking back, I mean, not saying that I wouldn't still do those things, but I would have, because going back to number one, I would have budgeted better, so that I would know that I could spend, you know, X amount of dollars on XYZ. But you know, back then I was just spending. I didn't care. I had no clue of what a budget was. I don't even think I even said that word. But you know, now that I'm older, I'm like trying to watch where my money is going, because I never want to overspend in any category. Now that doesn't mean that you can't like treat yourself to some nice things and, you know, experience life, but at least know where your money is going. So if it gets to the point where it's like you need to pull back, you're able to do so. Less is more. Now you guys, I'm all for, like, I'm trying to like try to live a minimalist life. My go-to are gadgets. Like I love gadgets. I love spending money on gadgets. Like I just bought me something for my birthday, and I will show you guys that a little bit later, or you can check it out on my Instagram. I'll probably post it on there. But gadgets get me. And so other than like, I'm not big into clothes or shoes or anything like that. Yes, I want to look nice when I go out, but I can like switch up what I already have, you know, and make it look good, you know, according to the shoes and the jewelry or whatever the case is. But less is more. And you know, even in your mindset, the less like things are congested in your being, in your environment, you'll be able to concentrate more. You'll have clarity of thought. You'll be able to know where things are, what you already have, because there's been plenty of times like I have purchased something to like cook with, and there it is already in my pantry. So I spent money that I shouldn't have to, you know, I shouldn't even have spent, because I already had it in my pantry. So less is more. No, but you know, nowadays though, just keeping it 100, you should have more than one of anything, because you just never know how the world is getting ready to flip and do its own thing. So I just never want you to be caught off guard. But in terms of like clothing and shoes and all that, you know, I'm pretty sure, just like me, you have plenty of that. But outside of that, yes, you should have more than one thing, because people will raid the stores if something happens, and then you won't have anything. So, but in general, always think less is more, and the less you have, the more money you'll be able to save because you're not spending it. So that also brings me to save as much as you can, you know, as early as you can. So I just talked about, you know, my investments and stuff like that, which I wish I would have saved more, you know, when I first started working, but I just didn't. I didn't know. And knowledge is power, and the more that you know, the more you can do better. You can't do anything about what you did in the past, but as long as you're learning now and you're changing your habits now, then you know you're doing the best that you can do. There's nothing you can do to change, you know, the past or whatever, but you know, if we can encourage the younger generation to save as much as they can at the age that they are, and hopefully, you know, maybe your situation was different than mine and you were able to save, you know, and budget and invest more, you know, in your younger years, and now you're reaping the benefits now. That is awesome. Kudos to you. You are a superstar. But the former Adrian, I'm like, girl, you should have been doing a little bit better, but it is what it is. I know now, and I'm doing better now. So I'm excited about that. Buy some property. So my second quarter goal of 2022 is to take a real estate class. Like, yes, I don't own my home now because it's not paid off. So my definition of owning a home is that your home is paid off. But I do want to learn more about real estate, and so get that under my belt too, so maybe I can even be out there and, you know, either buy properties for myself or be like a real estate agent on the side and sell some properties, because, you know, you can never have too many like things that you know how to do. So if that's one of your goals, to like learn how to do something else in order to make more money, do that. So if you already have property, kudos to you. You are winning in my book. I want to learn how to do that. I don't know anything about real estate, so I do want to dibble and dabble in that and take a class in the second quarter of 2022. Being content with what you have. Now that goes back to less is more, living a minimalist life. If you're content with what you have, you'll be just more happier. You know, oftentimes people look at the rich and the famous like, oh, they have this and they have that, but guess what? The rich and the famous are like killing themselves every single day. So it's not about things, it's about you and having peace within and being happy with what you already have. Buying things are just like, yes, for that moment you may feel like, oh my gosh, this is the best experience of my life, but you know, things can't bring you joy. Things can't bring you happiness. If you just wake up every day and you're able to hear the birds chirp and feel the wind blowing through your hair, that is such a blessing in itself. And that you can even if you're able to move about with your own ability without any help for anything, that is such a blessing, especially nowadays. So much is going on in the world. So learning how to be content, I would have told the younger Adrian, girl, be content with what you have and who you are. And then, you know, as time progressed, you know, I would look back and say, girl, you did that thing, you know, and I could just better myself each and every day. Even now at the age that I am learning to be content. And so, you know, I'm trying to line up my future self so she can look back and say, Adrian, you did that. You did a very good job, and I'm very happy at the progress that you've made. And contentment is everything. Pay cash for items if possible, because when you pay cash, it feels some kind of way. Like I do a cash lifestyle for the most part, and handing over cash as opposed to handing over my debit card feels different. You feel it in your soul when you handing over cash. So it helps you to be mindful of your spending. And so when you're spending money, you don't really want to spend it because it's cash and you're looking at how much you have left, and you don't really want to do it, as opposed to someone who's swiping a card. You just swipe. And if they're not tracking their expenses, then you can run into going into insufficient funds. And we do not do insufficient funds. We are not living that type of lifestyle. we are living a lifestyle that is fulfilled. We are living a lifestyle that we're good stewards of our money, so we don't want to have insufficient funds or anything of that nature. So if you're able to pay cash for items, vacations, cars, whatever the case, and it is possible to do so. The car that I'm sitting in right now, I pay cash for it. So I am talking from experience, and I'm pretty sure you have paid cash for different items in your life too. And when you don't have a bill, like if you go on vacation and you come back, there's nothing that you have to pay off or anything. That is just a totally different experience, as opposed to going on vacation and having to come home to a bill. We don't want to live that type of lifestyle. So pay cash for as many items as you can and live a life of contentment. Now, younger Adrian, just because you had the money did not mean that you needed to buy it. Oh my gosh, like I just told you, I was just buying. I didn't have any concept of save. Not in my vocabulary. And even now, I'm trying to be more mindful of, just because I have the money does not mean that I need to spend it. I look at my budget and I do have a buffer in my checking account, and I'm like, I can use this, I can have this, I want this. But then I have to pull back, because you just never know, especially nowadays, what can happen. And if I don't have that buffer, or if I don't have that money saved when something hits the fan in this world, because something is going to hit the fan, then I won't be prepared, you know, for when something does happen and I won't have the money. And I don't ever want to be caught off guard, especially being that it's only my income. I need to be very wise with what I am spending. So the younger Adrian, girl, you did not need to buy that. It's okay. I forgive you. Let's move on. Stop loaning people money if you don't actually have it. Like younger Adrian, you know, to a certain degree, I had it. I had a good paying job. I just wasn't budgeting. Like I did have debt. Well, I guess if I had debt, then I shouldn't have been loaning out money. Okay, so the new Adrian, if I don't have it to give and I don't need it back, if I have it to give and I don't need it back, then you are more than welcome to have it. But never loan out money if you can't afford it. You know, some people just do it because they want to look like, oh, I have it. But once you loan it out, you don't really have it, and maybe you're not paying a certain bill because you lent that money out. Let's not do that in 2022. Younger us, we probably did that, but older us, we're not doing that. Unless we have it, we're not loaning it out. And if you loan it out, it is a loan. It's like you're giving it to them. Don't expect them to pay it back, because some people do not pay it back, and then it'll be issues with, you know, your friendship or you being in a family, you know, family issues. So if you have it, just give it to them, bless them with it. If you don't have it, just say you don't have it. No is a complete sentence. Withdrawing from your 401k. So I just touched on this a little bit, as I had to do that years ago, before I started my current job. I did take out money. I took out all the money from my 401k actually, because life was lifing and I needed the money to survive the situations that I was going through at that time. But I would encourage anyone else to not touch your 401k if possible. If you can find a way to pay whatever it is that you're trying to pay off, don't touch your 401k, because your future self, the retired you, will appreciate it, because the more you save, the more you invest, it will accrue more interest, and you'll have more compound interest later in life, as opposed to if you're taking it out, you're paying penalties and interest, and you don't even get all of the amount that you invested that you're taking out. You don't even get all of it. So leave it in there. Like currently I'm investing 20% of my check toward my 401k, because I'm trying to catch up at this point. And you know, yes it does hurt when I see my check, like but I have to do it because younger Adrian did what she did. And so, and you know, I'm not faulting her. She had to get through whatever she was going through. But now I'm trying to play catch up. And so, you know, I'm feeling it. And that's why I budget the way that I budget, because my check looks like a stipend. because I am sending so much money toward my investments. But I know the future me will be very proud and very happy that I'm doing that currently in my life. And lastly, this will apply to whomever it can apply to. Be with someone or marry someone in which you can build with. Don't ever be with someone that will drain you financially, emotionally, physically, all of it. Just be very prayerful and, you know, ask for guidance regarding the people that come into your life that want to be in your life for the long haul, because some people are just like, you know, they're put on this earth to drain you. And, you know, I've experienced some situations where I was drained, and so I didn't have the funds to, you know, do what I wanted to do because I was trying to help them or whatever the case is. So always be mindful of your money. Be mindful of the people that you invite into your life and have in your life, and, you know, just do the best that you can do. We only get one life, and I want you, you know, your cheerleader through the screen, to live your very best life. So if there's anything that you would have told your younger self, I would love to hear it in the comment section. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope it brought out some insight. You know, as we're all getting older, we're all aging, and I just know there's some things that you would have loved to tell your younger self, or even tell a younger person now, to say, hey, you know, do this or do that, so that the future you won't have to go through this or won't have to go through that. So I'm glad to be back online. You'll see more videos from me. I'm gonna hopefully post one of my birthday party that I just recently had, in which I only spent less than $100 on my birthday party. So I'm really excited about that. And if you're not already following me on my Instagram, you need to do that so you can see behind the scenes of my life. And I will talk to you guys later. I hope you have a blessed day.